All right. Well, it is close to that time again.
Close to that time?
It's close to it, so it's close enough. But you are listening to Average Rent here at KNMC
90.1
FM.
I should have done the helium thing. My kid was running around sucking helium last night.
Mine passed out from taking too much helium. Runs in the family.
Your family.
No, I mean for mine. I used to do the same thing.
Oh. I thought you were like, yeah, she did it because you did it. I'm like,
Man, don't sound so offended.
they're not related.
Man, you were just like, I don't want to be part of your family. You're me. Whatever. I forgot that I had to get
The announcements?
announcements,
Yeah. And you even started early.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
We're
they are.
talking. What do we got going on? Oh, August 22nd. There's Burger. I can't talk today. Burger Feed fundraiser happening at the Eagles. It starts at 5:30.
There's one really big important thing that starts this week. You might want to mention it.
I'm not going to talk about school.
School starts this week for
Yeah.
everybody.
Yeah, school starts for me on Wednesday, and I believe Thursday for public schools.
Which is weird. Right? You're gonna go to school for 2 days, get 2 days off.
Yeah,
Just ease them in, I guess.
and isn't there like a holiday coming up too? Or something?
Probably.
I don't know. It's not on the calendar yet, so I don't know.
I don't remember the holidays.
Let's see here. Oh, there's not too much going on this week. At least that's on the calendar. Well, they've got the company auditions and volunteer fair happening at the Montana's Actors Theater. That is to go if you want to be involved in Actors Montana Theater. They are trying to do like a bulk run so that they know who the lead roles are going to be. And
Is that
who's
next
gonna be
Saturday?
played. That is the 26th.
Which is next Saturday.
That it is. And that's also, I believe, the first football game of the season.
The time has to change. So if you look at the flyer, it says 1 p.m. I did see that they added them in. They're going to move it to 2. But you can still show up at noon and eat.
At noon to eat.
Yeah, apparently they're doing food and stuff before it.
How about the
Yeah.
audition thing?
Yeah, it was in Facebook, man. You
Facebook-
need to get back into social media.
No, social media is the devil.
It is the devil.
And I would prefer to texting at least is some form of hello, but I would prefer to.
Well, and it's to somebody you know. Like a lot of Facebook stuff is or TikTok or whatever. You're just babbling to somebody you don't even. Odds are you don't even know.
I can honestly say, like, I've got a bunch of people on Facebook that, I mean, they're all friends, or I knew them at some point in my life, and if I don't talk to you on a regular basis,
Oh, I don't friend people.
well, like I've got friends that I went and I knew growing up that
Right.
are on there, but if I don't talk to you on a regular basis and you post your political ideas, I just do that block feature that
Yeah.
that doesn't unfriend them, but makes it so I don't see their posts anymore.
Right.
Because if I wanted to do that, I'd go to the news. So I hate that social media has turned into a news thing. That's why Canada has done. I don't really know what it is. So if I rant about it, I don't know enough about it. But they have made it so that if you want to post on social media, it costs money. So the news outlets have to actually pay a fee to post. So, and I think they did it through Facebook, and then Facebook goes, okay, well, we'll offset the cost by making them pay us.
Nice.
But it was kind of interesting.
There you go.
But yeah,
That's a community announcement.
no. That's just interesting news from around the world.
Ugh.
So just north.
Yeah. Have you heard the conspiracy? Have you heard? Honestly, I don't think you have because you don't watch a lot of news. But the big fires on Maui, the Hawaiian island Maui.
Oh, is that what's the name of the character? I don't know all the names of the characters in that show. But the lava monster, is it causing problems?
No, the conspiracy theory is that there's some people out there who think that the U.S. government actually bombed it for some odd I'd have to Google it. I saw it and I just scammed over it and I went, this isn't worth my time to read.
it's just another one of those things where it's like social media. People can post whatever they want. They can. I'm a graphic designer. I can make something that looks like a news report.
Oh, well, no, you just have to copy and paste the page of whoever you're talking about and put some subtle changes to it to make it your own.
Like, I have a hard time believing almost any news these days. So I just try to avoid it and have a nice, healthy life.
Yeah. It's so sad that people actually would think that our government is doing this to force us to go towards using clean energy.
Oh yeah, let's create pollution even more.
Yeah, let's bomb our own citizens and blame it on climate change, and then so we have to switch to clean energies. It's like, this makes no sense. Why would anybody do this?
I mean, I'm no know-it-all, but I would hope and pray that a government in a first world country would not kill people.
Well, according to that terrible movie series that your wife wants us to watch, The Purge, that's more than happy with what they want to do.
Yeah,
I could not. I'm like, the premise of that whole movie makes absolutely zero sense. No government in their right mind would ever do this.
Well,
ever.
Could you imagine? Like, put yourself in that situation, and I show up at your door, and I'm like, Derek, just let me in. I need a safe place to stay.
Right?
And you're like, no, I'm not letting you in. And then, I try to break in. There's a crazy thing that happens. I've got a crazy nasty. You're like, Barry, I know it's you. And then the next day, I'm like, hey, man, you want to hang out?
Right?
Well, I can't do anything. It's illegal now.
It's only legal. Murder is legal for one day. That is completely stupid.
Yeah. I've never watched any of those.
Like, it wouldn't work on any stretch of the imagination. I mean, that's just, it's such a bad premise for a movie. And unfortunately,
and remember, it's only in certain cities. So that's why you have people that leave the city for that day.
Why not leave that city forever?
But the thing I don't understand is there's so many crazy people that if you gave them free reign to do whatever, you'd see like their true self. Every place would be burnt down to the ground by the time you came back.
Yeah. I mean, it's just, yeah.
That's crazy.
Speaking of awful movies, let's do it. Let's do the 25 worst blockbuster movies of all time.
We're doing a worst, like a top 25 already.
I'm just going to put, because I didn't get it. I got one thing, and yeah, Sammy, it's just a movie. It's a terrible movie. It's a terrible concept for a movie.
She's going to say, how do you know you've ever seen it?
I don't have to see it to know it's a terrible movie.
Well, he's figuring out this list. You can find us on YouTube again.
We are on YouTube. If it's working. I think it's working because your wife is already texting me, telling me.
She could be listening.
Oh, it was my wife. See, Amanda said it was just a movie. I didn't look to see who actually said it. I just read the first few words that came up on my phone there. But the top 25 worst movies of all time that actually made a ton of money, but they were just awful movies. Number 20. It's on this list.
I knew it.
Number 25, The Bible in the Beginning in 1966. I never saw it. I can't comment on it.
Yeah, I don't know.
But, I'm not going to go sit down and watch it.
When you said 1966, I just went, yeah, probably.
This movie, I can't believe it was a bad movie. I watch it. I think it's fun. Twister?
Yeah, there's a cow that flies by.
Right. I mean,
like that. I will always remember that scene when the cow goes by because it was so CGI.
Well, and she goes, cow.
Yeah.
You're like, yeah.
And
the cow.
The cow didn't look upset about it.
It was like, yeah. Well, I mean, what's an upset cow gonna look like? Like, I'm just being tossed here.
It's an upset cow look like.
Number 23, Trial of Billy Jack, 1974. I never saw this one either. So, yeah. It's a 170-minute jumble of good intentions. Finds Billy Jack's freedom school carrying on in his absence after he's sent to jail for involuntary manslaughter due to the butt-whooping events of the previous movie. Yeah, this sounds like a boring movie.
So there was a first one? And
Yeah.
This is the second one?
Yeah, apparently.
What is it called?
The Trial of Billy Jack. Yeah. I think you're going to be upset about number 22, though.
Oh, probably. If it's a Jim Carrey movie, they're wrong.
It is not a Jim Carrey movie. He does have a couple of movies out there that weren't very good, but
Yeah, but they weren't the worst.
I don't know. Once Bitten wasn't very good. The movie where he's bitten by a vampire.
Oh my god, that was like an original one. I feel like that
That was
was
like
an
one of his-
early version of an indie film.
That was one of his first like 2 or 3 movies.
Yeah.
Yeah, what'd you find?
Oh, I was just wanted to see kind of who was in it.
I didn't see anybody I knew in it, but
Yeah, no.
yeah. Anyway, at number 22, this movie came out in 1992, so you were right, the ripe old age of about 11 or so.
Mhm.
Home Alone 2, Lost in New York.
I didn't think that was that bad.
No, the problem with it was it was just a clone of the first one. They just moved cities
Well, and
and the house.
and there was more paint cans,
Yeah,
right?
Right.
They
so they wouldn't fall for it again. We're gonna, and he didn't use paint. He used the 2 paint cans, and then he
like
used
a
the big
log.
old bar.
Yeah.
Yeah, the big old sewage pipe.
that I don't know how he lifted by himself.
First of all, those guys are dead. Like that sewer pipe hits them in the face, they're dead.
Have you ever? There's a video where they said that was reenacted.
Mythbusters went through and redid a whole episode on this.
Well, there was one where people said how it would really happen, and I think it was a cartoon.
Yeah.
And they literally go in, they're like, "Oh, an open window. Why is there stuff at the bottom?" And then he reaches in and moves it out of the way.
Right.
And like the same with the hot thing, they walk up and he's like, "Why is this red?"
Right.
And then he just doesn't touch it.
Well,
He kicks the door.
The
in.
one thing, and ever since I've seen it, I always questioned it, was the brick scene. Like, no one's surviving being hit in the face with a
Oh,
6-pound
the
brick.
second one when he throws it.
He hits him in the head with 4 bricks
Oh yeah, that's right.
from the top of a building. Like, you might survive one with some severe damage, but 3 more, you're not.
Well, I do.
Anyway.
My wife said Sharknado.
I did. That didn't make this list.
It shouldn't because it was.
It's not a blockbuster. It didn't make a ton of money.
But it was extremely cult classic.
Yeah, it's a cult following. Number 21, I thought this was a terrible movie, and everybody kept telling me to watch the extended cut version, and I still thought it was terrible. Batman versus Superman: The Dawn of Justice. It's just too long to begin with, and it's just all over the place.
Honestly, for me, it's Ben Affleck as Batman just doesn't do it for me.
He's not a terrible Batman. I mean, there's worse Batmans out there. I mean, Val Kilmer played Batman, for God's sake.
Yeah.
So did George Clooney.
Whenever I see the new Batman, I go, well, no, Jay and Silent Bob dressed up like you. And you were the guy that was the pen salesman.
Right.
Mallrats.
Number 20. And yet again, another movie I rather enjoyed, Crocodile Dundee 2.
Yes, that's a great movie.
I enjoy the Crocodile Dundee.
That's
Even the newest one where he moves to California. I mean, it was just a nostalgia thing. The first one's the best one, but still.
Well,
It's
give me
not.
all your money. That's not my life.
Number 19, I agree with this wholeheartedly that all 3 of them should be on this list, but they're not. Star Wars Episode 9, Rise of Skywalker. They shouldn't have made these movies.
Oh, that was the. Is that the newer ones?
Yeah, the new 3.
Man, you might. Our phone might start ringing.
They
You're talking Star
can.
Wars
Everybody's entitled there. If you're born after the year 2000, you're gonna love these movies. But if you grew up watching the originals, you're gonna be like, I already watched this movie in 1987 when it came out, or 1979, right? Like the original movies. So yeah, my biggest issue with not the newest one, the Episode 7, was it literally followed the original script of Star Wars: A New Hope. An abandoned kid on a desert planet. Wow, way to start that off.
Well, yeah, because it's Anakin.
Yeah.
Of course, it's going to start with it.
It's not Anakin, it's the chick. She's on the desert
Oh,
planet.
that's right. Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah. I get them mixed up.
yeah. It was.
For some reason, I thought we were talking about the Jar Jar ones.
If you just cross off the Star Wars, they're okay movies. They're not bad, but you still know they're Star Wars.
Well, I feel like nowadays you have to go into a lot of movies being like, it's not going to be what I'm expecting.
Yeah.
Because they change the stories, they mix it all up, and I mean, some people like that, but like we read Forgotten Realms, and well, one of my favorite characters.
Oh, if they ever did a series on it,
They'd have to follow the books exactly, because if they didn't, I'd hate it.
well, I don't think they could follow the series. Why would they want to follow the series exactly? You got to change things.
Then that's the problem.
But you have to change things up certain bits. You have to change certain people do certain things. You have to change it around because you're like, oh, you know what happens next. Oh, you know what happens. Well, it makes it no fun for the reader to watch because you already
It'd
know
make
what's
it
going to
fun
happen,
for me, because then I can see if I imagined it the same way.
right? It's like the Legend of Vox Machina. For those of you who don't know, that's the
Roll 20.
role,
No, yeah.
Critical
Critical
Role.
Role, yeah.
They did a cartoon series based on their first campaign.
And that was cool.
But they changed stuff. I've seen it all, heard it all, listened to all of it. It's not the same. All the same things that happened in the story happen, but different characters do certain things. So it's not certain characters that do things.
So when you have my character teleport away,
Never. Number 18. I think this one gets a bad rep because they just threw in a bunch of hazy conspiracy facts into it. The Da Vinci Code.
yeah, I don't remember that one being that bad.
It's an entertaining movie, but you can't take any of the information they give you in it seriously. Like the
Okay,
bloodline of Christ.
That's like watching Indiana Jones and being like, this really
I
happened.
know, right? But I mean, people take things that way sometimes. Like, oh, you know,
Mhm.
like when Dan Brown was researching the novel, yeah, he probably stumbled across some things where some people believe that the bloodline of Christ actually still exists, and there are people who want to get rid of it,
Interesting.
right?
The Templars.
Number 17 definitely belongs on this list. Jurassic World.
I have yet to see that.
It was okay, but I saw the original, so and you can't tell velociraptors what to do.
Yeah, you can.
Yeah. Number 16. This is a good movie, and I don't even like this type of movie for the most part. But The Bodyguard with Kevin Costner and Whitney Houston.
Well, yeah. Whitney Houston just rocks that.
Oh man, that song went nuts.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and it was Kevin Costner.
Sing it for everybody.
He took a bun note. Number 15. I never watched it. It's Mel Gibson as a filmmaker. He did Passion of the Christ in 2004. Made a ton of money.
Yeah, I've never seen
I
it.
think it's one of the highest grossing movies of all time, actually, around the world.
I don't like, for me, I don't like any movie that is trying to depict something as realistic. So like I love Dogma because it's a comedy that talks about kind of like real things.
It
but-
talks about Catholic dogma, hence the name.
I know, but it talks about like real things, but they put a comedy spin on it. It always makes me feel lighter about it.
Number 14, I think we're both going to agree this one belongs here. The 2001 version of Planet of the Apes, which was just terrible.
What? You didn't like that?
It had some great actors, though.
Just because you have great actors? Like, there's so many movies that have great actors.
Oh, and they just
the
do
writing is
terrible.
terrible.
Yeah. Which is why I feel really bad about the screen actor, the whole strike right now. Like, actors, like, we really need you to write us some scripts. Like, yeah, we could ad lib for a little while, but
They're using ChatGPT saying write a script right now.
Right.
It's just not doing it for us.
right? There are some guys out there that like can ad lib scenes and stuff, but the real magic comes out of the writing room. Like if you don't have a good well written script, I mean, it doesn't matter how good you could put all eight. Oh, that whole thing moves.
Yeah.
A-listers all over the board, man, and it just doesn't gonna work out well.
Yep.
Number 13, I hated these movies because they were just stupid. Meet the Fockers.
I thought they were too bad.
Like, yeah, I just didn't like it.
I'd go get a different cat and spray paint.
This movie, number 12, is just the series went on too long. Pirates of the Caribbean on Stranger Tides. There's just too many movies. The first one was amazing. Let's face it, Johnny Depp kills it as a pirate in that movie. Like that is, he's funny.
Well, I mean, all you got to do is drink a whole bunch before you start acting.
Well, yeah,
There's a,
Why is the rum gone? Like, I mean, it's just a fun movie. And I'm gonna debate this one, and I think you are too. Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves at number 11.
no, there's no way. That's a great movie.
That's a fantastic. Like you talk to anybody, hey, did you see the Robin Hood movie with Kevin Costner in it? And they're like, oh, that's a great movie. And I'll be like, hey, did you see the Robin Hood movie with Russell Crowe in it? And they're like, Russell Crowe did a Robin Hood movie?
Yes.
He did.
Mm-hmm.
And it's fine. It's a good movie too, but what?
It's not as good as
No.
Kevin Costner one.
Kevin Costner follows the more premise of the Robin Hood that everybody knows and loves, the folklore version of Robin Hood. The Robin Hood that Russell Crowe did was the more
gladiator style.
Well, not even that. They did the more historical style of what he probably really was.
Mm-hmm. Now I want to watch that again.
Which one? The
Russell Crowe one.
It's a good movie. I think your wife would like it, honestly.
I'm pretty sure I watched it with her.
Oh, did you? Yeah, it's a good show. I have it. Number 10, yes, this one belongs here. In 2006, The X-Men Last Stand, where Phoenix kills everybody, including Wolverine.
Okay,
He almost
no
kills
proof. No proof that he was killed.
Yeah. Well, no, he didn't die. He actually killed her.
Yeah. Way to ruin it.
Yeah. Spoilers. I can't believe this one's even on the list. This is one of my favorite adult kid movies of all time. It's a kid movie, but God knows it's for adults.
You're going to say Shrek.
It is Shrek.
Mm-hmm.
Why is this on this list?
Because, once again, we're probably reading something that was written by one person's opinion.
Oh, maybe. It's by Yardbarker. I mean, come on.
Yeah, but they have writers that write.
Yeah, I'm just like, oh, man.
Like, we need to go on our Facebook page and do our, top 10 worst movies.
Oh, that's a
Because
pretty...
that Iron Mask one would probably...
I can tell you right now, Napoleon Dynamite would make my top 10.
Yeah.
I hate that movie with a passion.
I've never seen it, and I never watched
And
it.
and yet most people tell me, they're like, oh, it was so awesome. I'm like, no, there was nothing awesome about that movie. In fact, I don't even know how it ends because I didn't make it to the end. I'm a guy who could sit through and watch. We sat through that Iron Ring or Iron Mask movie, right?
Yeah.
That whole movie. I didn't make it through Napoleon Dynamite. Number 8, Tim Burton's Alice in Wonderland. Johnny Depp's going to get a bad rap by the end of this list.
Yeah, well, I mean, he did great. I actually liked
He was a
those
good
movies.
Mad Hatter.
I thought those were great. I watched both of them again.
Through the Looking Glass? Yeah. Oh, here's a Jim Carrey one. Barry automatically disagrees.
Yep.
Number 7,
The Grinch.
The Grinch.
Yeah, I knew it.
Like why? Like, what's wrong with that movie? And it stuck to the original 30-minute premise. They just made it 2 hours long.
Yeah.
And they talked about where the Grinch came from. Nobody tells you where he came from in the original.
Yeah, and there was a key party in it.
Right? And that little chick actually went on to be a huge heavy metal singer. She's pretty awesome.
Was that the little Cindy Lou Who?
Yeah. She went on to make a good career. Number 6, Star Trek Into Darkness. It's a fun movie. I don't know why people are crapping on decent movies. It's nostalgia. Did I do this last week? It's starting to sound familiar.
Yeah, I think you did.
I did.
So I was like, I think he's going to say The Grinch.
Yeah, I am. Yep. We did this. Well, we'll finish it out. Whatever. We're only 6 left. Number 6, that was Star Trek 5, is Any Which Way You Can. It was a Clint Eastwood movie, which did bad. Let's face it, every great act. Name a movie that, like there's even, you can name a movie that Jim Carrey did that wasn't very good. Even your favorite actors have done bad movies at some point.
For me, for my personal opinion, is was it Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind?
Yeah, see, the reason I won't watch that movie is the title's too long.
Well, for me, it's because it's a very serious film.
Yeah, and you're not used to seeing him in that.
No, and that's the problem I have, is I have trouble. Like, I didn't mind 13.
Yeah.
That one didn't bother me, but he kind of made me laugh.
For me, it would have to be Dumb and Dumber 2.
Yeah, I still think he's funny in it, though.
Yeah, but the movie just wasn't very good.
No.
Like, I'm talking about the movie as a whole. Him and Jeff Daniels didn't capture the lightning in a bottle like they did in that first.
But the one thing I would like to see is, because there was such a big gap between the first one and the second one, if you could show the second one to somebody that's, a young adult that has never seen the first one, and if they watch the second one and like it, would they think the opposite of when they watch it?
I don't know. The first one's just a classic, though. Like, it is.
Oh, it's so good.
It's so good.
But it's also because, and they don't do this anymore. This is the thing that I think has been lost in film. They used to write comedies where everything was believable except the 2 comical characters.
Right.
So that's what makes that so great, is everybody else is normal. But
This is why I can't watch Step Brothers. Like it is the entire premise of the movie is stupid and unbelievable.
Yeah, that's the whole point.
No, it's not. And every movie that Will Ferrell ever was in is stupid and unbelievable.
No.
Name one.
Old school.
Yeah, stupid and unbelievable.
No. That would be me if I was able.
You are able. What's
No.
stopping you?
I'm not in a frat.
Yet?
No, there isn't any here.
Why? Start one. What's stopping you?
I don't start cults.
As you should. Number 4, Godzilla, not the newest one, the 1998 one. I watched it. It was entertaining, but it wasn't very good. Number 3, Lion King with its live action animals that talk was just weird. See, now I definitely remember doing this last week. And then it goes to Transformers, Rise of the Fallen. I'm a Transformers nut, so I watched that more than once. And then number 1, was Gone with the Wind. Never watched it, don't want to.
No. Yep, we did do that.
We did. And now I remember mentioning that one.
Good job, Derek.
I know.
You need to delete them after we've done
I do. Sometimes this doesn't actually delete
I
them.
think you forgot.
I didn't forget. It sometimes just doesn't delete them. But, you know what I found for you?
Hmm.
I found a new competition that you might enjoy, Barry. Well,
Is it the most annoying competition? I'm
no,
pretty good at that.
you would win that one, that's for sure. But for heaven's sake here.
Oh, Lord.
Right. I need you to do me a favor and type in hobby horse competitions. This is a
What?
hobby horse competitions. Yep. These are real live
Oh, I have seen
competitions where people ride horses. This is what my kids do in my living room, but people do this as a sport. And because they don't want to be cruel to animals and horses by making them jump over obstacles and ride in and out. They ride
the horse head on a
sticks.
stick.
And they have to jump over, and they score it based on technique and I hate to be sexist here, but so far every competitor I've seen is a girl.
Well, you know what? I'm gonna do it.
You're gonna. I got 2 horses at the house.
I can prance.
use one.
I can prance like
Like,
that.
do you get graded on how pretty your horse looks?
Oh, probably.
Right.
I mean, mine would look like it came from
That
the
chick
Nine
was
Hills.
literally crying because she won because she's playing with a horse on a stick.
Well, it's one of those. It's like the Harry Potter Quidditch game.
Yeah, no. Quidditch requires some athletic sport and talent. These people are just riding
It's literally high jumping.
on a toy.
Yeah, I can't high jump with something.
My kid does it in the living room.
Not prancing like that. That was
Yes,
elegant.
watch him. He's very elegant. Wow. I think it's in. You have to check for me. Is it in Finland or Sweden? It's one of those 2 places where this takes place at. They have the big championships. It's in.
I don't know. It was first introduced to the wide public in 2017.
Yeah. Oh man. It's the Finnish. It's Finn. It's in Finland.
Yep, Finland.
Yeah.
It's not an Olympic sport. I'm just letting everyone know. It says no to Olympic sport. It's not mixed, so it is women only.
Oh, so that would be why there are only female. Why wouldn't they let the guys do it?
Because we'd probably snap that horse in half. They don't look very strong. And we would get mad. Imagine you go to make that jump, your toe nicks the bar, you start slamming the head of your horse on the ground.
Yeah, I don't know how that would. Yeah.
It's an interesting. Oh, and it's ages 12 to 18 are the only age groups.
Also, you can't be an adult to do it.
No.
Wow.
They started doing it for people that weren't able to have horses but wanted to enjoy the event.
Yeah, it is, it is what it is. I guess if you want to, go out and have some fun, go do that, I guess.
You know what? If you have fun doing it
Exactly.
and it doesn't hurt anybody, go do it.
Right.
So if you want to go home and lavender yourself up with honey, go ahead. It doesn't hurt anybody.
No. Well, it might hurt you depending on where you do that at, but yeah.
But I mean, if you enjoy it, it doesn't hurt you. Right?
Right. So I saved a TikTok that I have to play here. It's about the flat earthers.
Okay.
Where they spent $20,000 on the gyro. I figured I'd play it so people could actually hear it.
Okay.
So from their words and not ours, just ad-libbing it. This is from the actual guy who bought this thing. And we've got to listen to it. So let me turn up my phone here. And
an experiment to test rotation to the Earth. If the Earth is spinning at one rotation every 24 hours, that means that every hour it has to turn 15 degrees. And if the gyroscope is mounted anywhere on Earth, it's going to drift. In today's 21st century navigation systems, they're using what's called a ring laser gyroscope. It is extremely precise. If we could...
This machine cost $20,000.
Nice.
Right, and they bought it.
Simply get one of these ring laser gyroscopes, we would be able to prove once and for all that there is no rotation to the Earth. One of the people in the community actually purchased one for $20,000. But what we found is when we turned on that gyroscope, we found that we were picking up a drift. A 15-degree per hour drift.
Imagine that. They found out that the Earth was actually spinning. But it goes on.
Oh,
and he explains why
mm-hmm.
he picks up a drift.
Now, obviously we were taken aback.
Oh!
That's kind of a problem, right? We obviously were not willing to accept that, and so we started looking for ways to disprove that it was actually registering the motion of the Earth, and that it in fact was registering the motion of the sky.
The motion of the sky!
Well, this is a huge problem with anyone, even myself. I'm going to say that.
Everybody has this problem. When they believe in something so heartedly, they do.
They will do anything to prove
they
that
will
they're right.
defend it till they die, right?
Yeah. I mean, the hardest thing, I think, for people to do is admit that they're wrong. Like, it's easier to argue that you're not wrong, even if you think you are.
The easiest way out is just go, oh man, my bad. I guess I'm wrong. And it ends, right?
Yeah.
But no, they're going to keep pushing. And he keeps going.
Well,
so the next thing that we set out to do was to encase the fiber optic gyro in what's called a zero Gauss chamber to see if we could actually shield the energies being generated by the heaven.
The heaven energies.
We run successfully with that. So the next thing that we're going to try is encasing the entire apparatus in bismuth. If everything works well, I'd like to release it at the conference. At the conference, we want to have proof there's no curvature. And if we can do that, it's game over. But the rotation...
They're at the conference where they're going to review the results.
We don't want to blow this, you know? Right. We've got $20,000 in this freaking gyro. But yeah, if we dumped what we found right now, we would be... It'd be bad. It would be bad. So what I just told you is confidential.
Yeah. He didn't reveal. He went up, and I've seen the whole thing. And when he does at the conferences, he goes up in that conference and he walks up to the podium, and instead of telling him his real results, he goes, "They were inconclusive."
of course.
That to me doesn't speak to that he believes that the Earth is flat. I think it's a cash grab.
Well,
He doesn't want his fantasy to end, and his fantasy is paying him.
well, I mean, if you were making $100,000 a year off of something you didn't believe, would you stop doing it?
Ugh.
Our world is built on greed, and it's even hard for me to think.
But
Like,
what that
I stop?
lie is doing is it's not a white lie. Like, no, there's milk in the fridge, but there really isn't.
Mhm.
It's not hurting anybody. What you're literally doing is they're teaching their children that the earth is flat, which is terrible. Okay.
Yeah.
For one, it's not true. And in later in life, it's really going to it could have severe consequences in that person's life. It could change every decision they make. Do you want to be why would I want to be an astronaut? We can't go up there anyway. Yes, you can.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think it's so. My wife's a professor, and I think the hardest thing to do is to teach people what their research shows.
And you know what's funny? So like we encased it in bismuth. You know what the main ingredient in Pepto-Bismol is? It says it in the name. Bismol is bismuth. So I don't know what encasing it in bismuth was going to do.
I'm surprised they didn't go, we're going to put it in the trench,
It didn't give it the runs, I guess.
and then we're going to let the mag eat it, and then we'll do the reading.
And then they did another experiment too. It was hilarious where they punch a hole in a board and they put a light
and then
through
they
it.
put them so
And-
far away.
Yeah, and they're like, oh, these things are going to hit each other because there's no curve. And no, what if one dude's standing in a hole? Okay, whatever. But anyway, they did it, and yeah, they proved themselves. They over and over again they proved this curve over and over again.
Well, I mean, it's the underlying thing of, can you admit that you were wrong? And I don't know. It's hard.
It's not. You don't even have to admit you're wrong. Like, hey, I made a mistake. My bad.
No.
Yeah. But yeah.
Well, I mean, I don't know. It's almost the same feeling of, do you remember when you were younger and you wanted to ask a girl out, and you're like, oh, I can't do it. She's gonna say no.
Oh, you psych yourself up so much. And guys have this big thing, like,
But you just, and it takes so much to be able to do it.
and maybe it's because you and I are married and we've been with our wives for long. We've just, but before that, you're terrified to talk to anybody of the opposite sex to you. You're like, I just can't do it. They don't want to talk to me. Yes, they do.
Yeah.
In fact, when you learn, that's all girls want to do is sit there and have a conversation with you. They want you to listen. You don't have to say a word most
Yeah, that's
of the
how
time.
I got friends out a lot.
Had a conversation with somebody.
Yeah, and I was too good of a listener.
You just don't like. Well, for a guy who loves to talk, I can't believe you
I
listen.
know. Oh yeah, I like to listen.
Yeah, I love sitting there. When my wife comes home and just screaming about her day, and I'm like, I'm glad it was those guys and not me.
Mm-hmm.
I just sit there and I listen.
I know there's times I've been there and it's been you.
Yeah. There's a little tip for any of you guys who are new to dating. Just listen to them. That's all they want.
Yeah, and you don't have to solve all their problems.
Don't solve their. They don't want you
Well,
to
it's
solve
the
their
same as
problem.
like you or I. There's times when I'm complaining to my wife, and I just really want her to listen and feel sympathy for me.
What they want you to do when they come home with a problem and they tell you about it, they don't want you to fix it. Unless they go, you need to fix the sink. It's leaking.
Oh yeah,
Right?
Yeah.
But
That's
if
what
they go, oh, it was this and that, and it was such a hard day, and I don't know what to do, they're not asking you to fix the problem. They want you to empathize with them. They want you to feel what they're feeling at that time. It took me 20 years to figure this out.
yeah, I still struggle with it.
You're like, oh, I can fix that.
My wife goes through some stuff that's happening at work, and I'm just like, who do you want me to get?
Right?
Do you want me to go knock them out? I can do it.
Right? They don't want you to fix their problems. They want you to empathize. They want you to feel the same thing they're feeling with their problems.
Yeah, but we're the same way. We want the same.
Well,
things.
guys from a very young age are ingrained to not put their burdens on other people. Right? We're like, oh, you fall down, get up, Buttercup,
Hold
walk
it
off.
deep inside.
Yeah, and just
and
let it stew.
hide your feelings is what.
And
I wrote.
then about 10, 15 years down the road, that's going to turn into a super volcano, and you are just going to blow up.
Yeah.
Over something completely stupid.
Like I can say I never saw my father cry until the day that I left the house, and then like 6 months later came back, and I was like 16,
Right?
and of course he had been having some Christmas drinking,
Well,
and then he opened the
everybody
door
has
and-
seen their buddy cry
Yeah.
when he's extremely intoxicated. But then you know what? You know what alcohol does? It brings you out, right? For better or for worse.
Yep.
Right? It literally like puts flames on the raw emotion that you're feeling the most at the moment. It's just gonna make it worse. So
Mhm.
everybody's had that moment.
What?
I'm a firm believer. Like if you get it out, I still have a tough time doing it because, like I said, from a young age, guys in general are like, you got to be tough. It's not your job to put your burdens on other people. but it's okay to take their burdens on. It's not fair to anybody.
It's the story of Atlas.
Oh, the weight of the world on his shoulders,
Yeah.
right? Yeah. Like, don't, and this is a big thing that we're having with the mental health. It's like people are so like, no, I'm tough. I don't have to go get help. Go get help. You're not a less of a man or a less of a soldier or a less of a dad or a less of a mom or a sister or a brother for going to see somebody to get help. In fact, that makes you stronger.
Yeah, I think we're starting to.
Or it's a shift. You could see it.
It's starting to get a little bit better, but the problem, like and I've tried to tell my wife, like it's ingrained in me, so it's not easy.
No.
I don't think it'll ever be out of me.
No. But what you can do is you can pass along to your kids. It's like, hey, you can tell me how you feel.
Yeah.
Right. And I want you to.
She lets me know.
Oh yeah, I heard what was it, Friday? My daughter and I thought my daughter and your daughter had their first BFF fight. I'm like, oh my god, they're 8 and 9 or 7 and 9, and wow.
Well, it was cute that they were both very upset about
Oh wow! Like I thought, I'm pretty sure Aurora thought the friendship was over.
it. And for people, a tablet died
Yeah.
and they couldn't talk.
So my daughter thought Barry's daughter had hung up. Well, no, the battery had just died on the tablet. And apparently your daughter was very upset at this.
Oh
fact
yeah,
that her-
and because she couldn't talk to Aurora anymore, she lost it.
right?
Oh,
Like this would have been a problem you could have solved, right?
yeah, I was about to.
And there are consequences for bottling up the emotional energy and just letting it all out.
Oh yeah, she was so mad at me, and I didn't even do anything.
Right?
But then I got mad and I took her computer.
well, which is a good thing. Like, and we can. I think everybody can acknowledge we're on our tablets and phones and computers too long.
And with kids, I feel like we use it as a crutch.
Oh, I do it so much. I'm like, I don't want to deal with my kid right now. Here's your tablet. Leave me alone.
Yeah, and we all do it.
I
We don't want to.
I
because-
envy my parents and their parents so much because they literally had to deal with us.
I don't know. My parents just used to say, "Go climb that tree." And
Well-
if I fell out of it and I was laying on the ground, they're like, "Good, 10 minutes."
We grew up in front of a park, so it was like go to the park, right? Like Pepin Park. I grew up in front of Pepin Park. Like go to the park, and from till it was dark,
I grew up in an area that kind of felt like Chinook
right?
for the size, but it was one subdivision, and there was really no cars. So I was able, from a young age, to go run over to my friend's house, and my parents had no fear.
And it was weird. I thought for sure during the summer that my kids would use their electronics less. I was very wrong. During the summer, they use them more because, well, they're not as busy.
Well, I mean,
They got
bonus-
more free time.
that swimming pool, I think.
Yeah, which was nice. By the way, come and get my kid tomorrow, so she's not on her tablet with yours from 9 a.m. till 3 when I get home.
No problem.
Don't
because
care. I don't care if you drop Percy off at my house or you come and steal my kid. I don't care. As long as they're not staring at an
Well,
electronic
that's true,
device
though.
for 6 hours.
Almost every time we get them together, it's
They
like
put it down.
Yeah, they forget about it.
Yeah, they go and do something else.
When they get tired, they'll come back and watch
Yeah.
a video. But, yeah.
Even when I was fixing my furnace the other day, they were watching the Alexa, but they were watching a video together. They weren't on their tablet. But I'm like, you guys can go outside and play.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I never had a giant trampoline in my backyard. My kids have a giant trampoline.
I had a giant pile of wood that every time I said I was bored, my dad would tell me to go chop the wood.
So what you never were bored because you didn't want to chop wood.
No, and I still remember he had a wood splitter, and I was only ever allowed to use that during the designated chopping wood time. So if I got sent out there because I was bored, I wasn't allowed to use that. And then his big thing would be, go ahead, chop that wood. It's going to put muscles in your boot. And he used to say that to me all the time. And I'm like, how does this work that? Why do I want that?
Now, when you say a wood splitter, we're using like a.
You know, the one where you have gas in it and stuff, and it's got the hydraulic. And
I'm saying, yeah, splitting wood would be good for muscles if you were splitting it like Stallone did in Rocky IV,
Well,
where he's
so-
chopping wood.
that's when I could use the wood splitter, but there was only an hour gap. So that's why he would put that limit, because then I would go out there during that hour and get as much done as I could.
I don't want to chop wood
Yeah.
with an axe.
But then he would make me use an axe, and it wasn't even like a wood split and an
No,
It-
you just gave you an axe.
Yeah, it was like the skinny.
Yeah, that's what they used to chop the tree down,
Yeah.
not the one they used to split it.
Yeah, that's what he'd give me.
It's one of those facts you don't learn until later in life when you go buy an axe. Like, I need to split some wood, so I'm gonna buy. Wait, which kind of axe do you need? Like, there's more than one.
I even had a buddy that he would invite me over, and then we'd have to chop wood. But I did the same to them, where I was like, "Hey man, you want to come over and play Halo?" And then come over, I'd be like, "We got to chop wood first, right?" But I was over there helping my one buddy this one time, and it had to have been like -30, and that kind of relates both ways. So
It's cold.
yeah, it's cold. And he went to hit the piece of wood, and he missed it, and the axe went into his boot.
Oh,
And I just remember him going, "Is this bad?" And I was like, "I don't know."
tell me, does it hurt?
No, but there was no blood or anything.
Yeah.
And then I was like, "Should we pull the axe out?" Because it looked like it hit his foot. And he pulled it out. He's like, "Yeah, there's blood in it." So we put the axe back in the hole.
Oh no.
But it was so cold, he couldn't tell. And it wasn't like,
Well, he's
like-
probably lucky because the circulation in his feet's bad at this point because his feet are so cold, right? So all the blood can't rush to his foot like it wants to.
and I will say he was wearing rubber boots, not
Leather boots?
not like steel
Steel toe
boots.
work boots. Yeah.
So he wasn't the brightest. He was a funny guy.
He was a one less toe funny guy after that.
So no, he ended up splitting just between his big toe and that, and it didn't sever any toes.
Ugh.
I think it was like 38 stitches or something.
Geez, yeah. Walking was fun after that, wasn't it?
He was very strange, so I don't ever remember it affecting him.
Well, that was so long ago. I mean, unless it happened to you,
Yeah.
right?
No. Yep.
And I, knock on wood, I was very fortunate at a young age to where I didn't break any bones when I was a kid that I know of. I may have and just never got them looked at, but I did roll my ankle a few times. That was one of the big ones for me, but no ER visits for me as a kid.
I've had-
Stitches.
4 sets of stitches.
All my stitches have been medical, like wisdom teeth and tonsils.
I don't count those ones.
That's what I'm saying. I don't count those.
I
Like,
got a shovel to the face
oh,
when my sister, I was making those snow tunnels, and then I popped up to throw a snowball because we were having a snowball fight, and she was over top of the hole about to throw the snow in on me.
oh.
So when I jumped out, she was throwing it in, and I
You
slammed my face.
got Spartan stabbed in the face with
right
a
in
snow
the face.
shovel.
And I remember I could feel it coming down my face, and she was crying because she felt bad, and I was laughing.
So you've been Spartan stabbed in the face with a snow shovel and a hockey stick?
Mm-hmm. Yep. And
I watched the hockey stick. That was
that one
interesting.
was funny.
Like that got stuck in your visor
In
in
my
your
little ear.
ear hole, and you're like, I can't get the stick out.
I
And
got blacked out the girl's face that stabbed me.
she was so mad at you. I don't know whether she was so mad that you were laughing at her after she speared you in
Well,
the face,
Well,
or she couldn't get her.
You know how I am when I play hockey. And
Yeah.
I have a little vocal. And every time, because she was a winger and I was the defenseman, she would get in front of the net and try to push me around, and I would laugh.
Yeah.
And then I would just push her.
Well, if I recall, that she had a
Oh, she had a
Wow.
temper.
problem in that tournament because she flung a puck into your bench
Yeah, she took a slap shot after a whistle.
after a whistle in your bench, right? And that it hit right above people's heads. I'm like, there are guys in there just wearing visors and they're not wearing cages. I wear a cage because, well, I don't want to make this any worse. But I watched her push kick a dude in the ribs.
Well, and she also tried to slew foot me behind the net.
Right? And for people who don't play hockey, you're literally playing with razor blades on your feet.
Yeah.
Don't let anyone convince you that hockey skates are dull. Yes, they can get dull, but no, they're very sharp. And if you kick somebody in a spot that isn't padded, it's going to cut the crap out of them.
Yeah, the pads protect you because they're not so sharp that they're going to cut through your padding.
They're not going to last right through the padding. no.
But they will cut through skin.
Oh, very easily. And I watched her, and the only reason she didn't get kicked out is the refs didn't see it.
Well, I don't know. Stuff that was happening to me, I'm so happy playing hockey that when bad stuff happens, unless it injures me, I just laugh.
Right.
Like,
I did watch you get checked one night, and you went down with a bad.
Oh, that's
bad
when I
back.
got cross-checked in the lower back.
Yeah.
You know?
You and him had to talk.
Yeah, that was not a fun night.
Yeah.
Especially because that was not even a real game.
No,
It was just fun pickup hockey.
that's all we really have here. But yeah, I can't believe you got stabbed in the face with a snow shovel.
Yeah, and then a full can of pop.
Is that the same sister?
Mhm.
She did not like you, did
and
she?
she said, I thought it was empty.
The can that okay. First of all, no.
And I remember it was a can of Pepsi.
Did you get to drink it afterward?
I don't remember. Like I got hit and I remember crying, and then that was my first time was the can of pop, and then it was the shovel.
Yeah.
And then my third time was I ran into, the pools you put in the ground, but you can build them above the ground.
Yeah.
So not like the one that I have, like the round cigarette ones is actually the one with the
Mhm.
deep end. And, my friend had one of those, but built it above ground
Yeah.
in like a holder. And we were playing ball tag. And I went to go run under the corner, and I thought I was under, but I wasn't.
Didn't make it all the way
I
down, did
lifted
you?
my head while I was midway underneath it. Took a
Ouch.
chunk of my skull.
That's the worst when you can feel it grind.
Yep. And they said I was lucky that I just chipped a bit of the skull, and I had like 27 stitches in my head.
You've had a few stitches in your day, huh?
And the most recent one was a puck to the lip.
I could have had stitches in my thumb. You remember that food slicer? They put guards on those for a reason, people. And yeah, well, and I caught it so quick that I wrapped it so tight, so fast that it didn't bleed at all, and they just covered it in super glue. They're like, yeah, you probably had like 6-8 stitches had you not super wrapped it in tape so quickly that it didn't, because it's literally a razor blade in those things. Like you just like scalpel cut yourself, so like it didn't hurt, but it was. That spot on my thumb is still numb. I have no feeling in there. I'm pretty sure I severed the nerve from my thumb.
I get so much resin and crazy glue on my fingers that my thumbs constantly have like this hard patch that I can't feel anything.
That's called a callus.
Yeah, but I think it's just because I burnt myself with chemicals.
It's called a callus, right? Like I used to work with hot grills when I worked with fast food. I could stick my hand out. It happened more than once where I would go to flip a shell and I'd miss it. I'd stick my hand right on the 375-degree grill. I didn't even know it half the time.
Also, you're using your hands, your bare hands. You weren't using gloves.
Because
The truth is coming out.
Because yes, we washed our hands often.
Yeah, I bet. After you were scratching your butt.
Yeah, I'm not going there. I've seen so many places in town that I'm like, oh, come on, people, stop touching your face and then going and handling food. Like buffets freak me out.
Or my favorite thing is when you're doing something where you have to shake somebody's hand, and then there's a bunch of people in a line, and then the person keeps wiping their face.
Why you got to bring that up?
Because I think it's funny.
You shook his hand.
Yeah, whatever.
You're still alive.
Yeah, don't bother me. I'm not licking my hand.
Yet. You could have went home and licked your hand later.
Yeah, maybe.
See, that's the thing. Like people don't like how often during the day do you actually wash your hands?
After I do a certain bathroom,
Mm-hmm.
and if I'm been painting and stuff.
Right.
I don't wash my hands all the time, but I don't like it when I know I have something on.
Right. Like if I'm cooking, I wash my hands. Like I usually wash my hands before I start cooking, and
Yeah,
then like
especially if
I'll
your
be
hand-
working with like
like,
a meat or
there's
something like that. Because it's gross. But for the most part, people go through the entire day without really unless they've done the bathroom thing. They don't wash their hands other than that.
Well, I put those rocks in my backyard there.
Yeah.
After every rock, I looked at my hands. They were so muddy, and it was so hard for me not to go wash my hands.
And you're like, I'm just gonna get muddy again.
Yeah, I was like, because I did it a couple times.
But it's not mud that freaks me out. Like mud isn't gonna kill me.
I don't know. It depends on where it comes from. What about like the frozen mud up in the Arctic?
They have. I saw a story that they've actually found and reawoken like 40,000 year old pathogens and viruses.
Yay!
I'm like, awesome stuff that we were once immune to, but now are not. Would you guys stop?
I might turn us into superheroes.
Or
Or what?
or what's the other option?
There is no other option.
There are plenty of options.
No. It's just like that Family Guy where Adam West wants to get superpowers, so he rolls in a vat of nuclear waste because that's what happened to the Griffin family.
Yeah.
And then it shows him in a doctor's office being like, so do I have my superpowers? They're like, no, you have cancer.
They found it's not a microscopic organism, but it's very small. You need a microscope to see it.
That's why it's not
I guess.
microscopic.
Well, it's. Have you seen those things? They're in the Ant-Man movies. The little things with a bunch of legs and a weird face.
The ants?
No. But anyway, they found that these things can actually survive in space. Like they're one of the few. They're the only thing.
So they don't require oxygen.
Well, they go dormant,
Hmm.
and then when they come back out of space, they come back to life.
So Venom.
Venom couldn't survive in space.
Well, he was on an asteroid going through space.
He was. I think they have to be on a host. But either way,
I don't know. It's make believe. So
oh yeah. I mean, let's face it. You're on a fireball of ice,
Haley's Comet.
or Halley's Comet, depending on however you say it, wherever you're from.
No, it's Haley's Comet.
I'm just saying, certain people talk different, man.
That is true. Accents.
Halley or Haley. Like I said the other day, like I was watching this Canadian show about heavy records, and they're like semis. And I'm like, what? You mean a semi? No, semis. All right. Accents
Semi
are-
truck.
And you've been all over, so you got to Georgia. You probably heard some really interesting accents.
We don't
down there.
talk about my time there.
Why?
Because it's a scary time.
Dude, check this out. There's something weird happening in the shark world right now. White sharks are known to be solitary creatures, right?
Okay.
Two
Great
of
white.
them have made a bromance.
What?
Yeah. Two great white sharks seem to be following each other all the way from the southeast U.S. to Canada.
Well, they're finding that it's better to be together.
They have swam 4,000 miles together, and it's got scientists like they don't know why.
Well, they're just broing
They're
it up.
growing it up, man. That's all I said. Like they're just like being around each other.
You know what it was? It was because sharks have this. Media has portrayed them as these big, scary monsters. And then now it's getting to the part where they're like, well, no, we don't have to be big, scary monsters. We can hang out. They're the ones breaking the media cycle.
Fish are friends, not food.
Oh.
But aren't sharks fish?
Yes.
Yeah, they are. So, and Dory's been alive.
Mm-hmm.
Fish are friends, not well. I mean, sharks will eat each other. That's known. They'll know that. Yeah, everybody knows that. But the fact they come from an egg is kind of weird, though.
Well, I think the egg stays in the mother.
Hmm.
And-
Sharks actually lay eggs, and I've seen
Do they all?
not all of them do. Some stay in the mom, and some
Yeah,
lay
why
eggs.
can't things just stay the same as every other?
Right? Like seahorses. Like the male seahorse
Yeah,
gets
the
birth.
male carries them.
Well, the female transfers them to the male, which is just
Have you ever saw videos of seahorses trying to keep attached to something while the current's going strong? It's pretty funny.
and then
they can't really swim, right?
and then you get the ninth wonder of the animal world, the platypus. What was happening there when nature's like a duck, a beaver, and a
Well,
duck?
I've always imagined that Mother Nature was like, well, I'm going to make a duck. And was like feathers, the bill, and then sneezed, and then it exploded.
Beaver.
All the pieces exploded.
and it's poisonous. Let's throw in a poisonous aspect.
well, that's
to it,
because it's in Australia. So it had to fit it.
right? Like, oh, we got to give this weird some type of defense
Isn't
mechanism.
it like you look up the top 10 most deadly spiders in the world, they're like all in.
Almost all of them are in and
So you look
Australia.
at the same snakes.
they're all there. Yeah.
Like, I don't know why you visit there.
Why do people live there?
Oh, man. Well, it used to be a prison, though. That's originally it was. They would send prisoners
Yeah.
to go, and that's what it how
The English took most of it over, I believe, and outside from the Aborigines.
Yeah.
But there's actually that's where some of the most dangerous people on Earth live. Tribes that don't have contact with anyone else on Earth. They're cannibals, though. So if you go there, you're probably not going to leave.
Well, I mean, if you go there, just don't go out to dinner.
You guys want to go to dinner?
No. It's out in the woods.
Oh, but yeah.
Well, that's
I wouldn't mind going like on an African safari, but if anybody's like, "Hey, you want to go to Australia?" No,
yeah.
because I'm not making it out of my hotel room. Because the stuff in my hotel room can kill me.
Yeah, like I imagine some of those spiders, even though usually they try to, I think they say that they stay kind of in the wild a bit there.
Yeah.
That doesn't
Snakes
mean
is
they
the big
always
thing,
do.
but snakes are the biggest thing because snakes like being food. They go where the food is, and where's the food? Where do the rats go? Where do the rats go? Where do the people go? Well,
Well, maybe they eat people.
Did you know that scorpions glow in the dark under a black light?
That's crazy. It probably goes to the poison.
All
part.
species. I don't know why. It's crazy. You can Google it. It's crazy though. They turn on black lights, and this is how they find them in like the Southwest. Like when they get an exterminator to go find them, they just turn off the lights and turn on a black light. They glow.
That's crazy. now, if we went to Australia, we'd walk around with a black light.
I don't know. Well, I'm sure there's scorpions in Australia, but the scorpions don't freak me out near as much as the deadly spiders, snakes, and well, pretty much everything else.
Yeah. Well, there's that. What is it? What's it called? The camel spider or something?
Yeah, those are in the Middle East, and they're not actually spiders.
No, these ones are actually around. You can find them in the southern parts of here.
I don't think. No, they're not native here.
Mexico,
Oh,
southwestern area of the United States.
But they find them. When people think they're chasing them, they don't. They like the shade. They just want to stand in the shade. So
Well,
people are
these
like,
ones actually don't. They're spiders, but they look like scorpions.
Yeah.
But they actually eat other spiders.
they're creepy.
They are. They're so creepy, and that's the thing. People don't like things that are creepy. That's why I was surprised my wife married me.
You like things that are creepy?
No, because she probably.
Oh, you are
like,
creepy.
Oh, it's creepy.
You are very creepy. Oh, dude, send me a bear down.
I got it. Oh.
Yeah, I heard horror stories of guys that came back from the Middle East about the camel spiders because they just like being in the shade, so they'll climb in your shoes,
Oh,
boots and
so-
stuff, or your sleeping bags or whatever.
And just be like, hey, what's up?
And they're called sun spiders, but yeah, I don't think they're actually spiders though. I think they're actually something else. Like if you go to Wikipedia, they explain what they are. They're related some way to a spider, but they're not actually a spider.
They look creepy.
They are very gross and creepy. Why are we looking at them? Oh,
Well, I think it's about that time.
it is
Well, you've been listening to KNMC
90.1.
FM.
And have fun in class this week, everybody.
Yeah, have a good one. We'll probably be back next week.
Probably.